Hello and welcome to the Forensic SEO Audit. So we're going to be taking a look here at the action items for this guy here. We're going to be doing some other SEO audits. If you guys have any questions, if you're watching live, please ask them on the right-hand side. Feel free to ask anything you want. I also turned on community settings in YouTube. A couple other house cleaning things to get out of the way. If you don't mind smashing the like and subscribe buttons, is that what they say, right? Smash the like and subscribe buttons. I don't know. You got to jump through a bunch of hoops. You got to click it a bunch of times if you don't mind doing that. And if you know anyone who's trying to make money from home or who needs to get a different career or who is looking to make more money on the side, if you know anyone who wants to do SEO or internet marketing at all, this is the show to watch. I have a lot of experience doing it, and I'm happy to help people. We live in a golden age. We live in a golden age of SEO. It's interesting. I'll expatiate for a while. It's interesting with all the vibe coding going on, and it's interesting with the Google changing the way that it has. People are kind of moving away from SEO and they're buying Google ads, and Google has had probably their best profit ever recorded. Not profit, revenue in a single quarter, I believe last quarter. But that's because people don't know what to do. If they watch this show, they'll learn what to do. There's other good SEOs, Kyle Sabra, Ryan Mazies, George Johnson at George Digital. These guys skew a little bit more local, and some of them may even have a shadowy sombrero. But they know what they're doing. And so these are the kind of guys I hang out with. Plus everybody else I have in my SEO university. I would highly recommend you contact me to check it out. I'll give you my contact info later in the show. So this site here, Vitality Medical, this is a great site, but it's just got a couple of these different action items I want to talk about. So if you want me to do an audit, let me know. I have the SEO Forensics Audit tool. If you go to the main page, hey, where's the main page? Here it is. You're going to get, if you go to free-seo-audits.replit.app, you're going to get this. This is at, here, I should make a notepad because it's the height of technology I got here. So I believe it's free-seo-audits.replit.app, I believe. Or it could be free SEO audit. I can't remember which one it is. Hold on a second. Yeah, free SEO audit. Sorry, that's what it is. So free SEO audit.replit.app. Go there and you're going to get this screen here, and just email me and I'll get you on the early access. It's still free. You guys can still use it for free. Somebody cleared out somebody cleared out, run a huge amount of audits recently, and cleared out a few of my credits for the various APIs I'm using. You can't just use one API. I got to use multiple APIs because not one is good enough to get all the SEO forensic you need. So, but we live in this golden age where I can build this kind of on my own. It's very interesting. So let's check it out. Okay. So this is what this found for this guy's audit. Now, when we started the audit, it ran a bunch of other audits because it did a check and said, "Hey, you're not ranking very well for some of these." And I apologize for the topic if some of you are like reading the keywords. You're like, "Wait a minute, what?" It's a legitimate medical site, I assure you. But the SEO could be better for sure. It's got good backlinks. It's got good backlinks on this particular. Referring domains are good. The domain rank is fine. That's not something I would worry about in this particular case. And I don't worry. I mean, links do matter. Off-page references definitely matter. They're a good 30 to 40% of SEO. And that could be the crucial thing you need to overtake your competitors. Plus, off-page mentions don't have a theoretical roof, right? There's only, I mean, on-page and on-site doesn't either. There's only so many pages you can build. This is this guy's particular content here. There's only so many pages you can build, but no, that doesn't have a theoretical limit either. I mean, it doesn't have a hard limit, but it does have a theoretical limit in the sense that, yeah, you can make your site a 10,000 page site, but there's only so much to talk about in any given topic. And it is a huge SEO mistake for you to branch out too wide, right? So if you, on this Vitality Medical site, let's say they ran out of medical things to talk about, they want to start talking about sports, that'd be a huge mistake that would, I mean, it would devalue their entity vectoring. It would confuse Google as to what to rank them for. It would radically shift. If they did it too much, it would radically shift their spam score for Google, Spam Brain. There's three main ranking algorithms in Google, including AI Mode and AI Overview. It's Rank Brain, Spam Brain, and Snippet Brain. Spam Brain would start seeing this unrelated, aka spam content, relative to your site, and start flagging you for that. If you continue to do it, it would eventually crush all your rankings. You get a penalty or a demotion across the entire site, because Google's like, hey, we can't trust this guy. We don't even know if this is injected content. Like, first he's talking about medical, now he's talking about sports. What the heck? That makes sense. I don't blame Google for that necessarily. That is what you'd have to do to run a search engine, right? And so backlinks for this guy is not a problem. You can increase backlinks kind of exponentially, and more than just backlinks. Off-page references. There's more signals than just backlinks. I haven't worked them into the system here yet, but I'm going to. I'm also building an SEO brain for SEO University, which is going to be an AGI of SEO. It's going to be an agent, like a vibe coding agent, but does SEO for you. And that is going to be part of SEO University's Discord to start, and then I'm going to branch that out into other apps and other offerings with various companies that I'm working with. So that's going to be super exciting. So content you can build up quite big. You should have the bigger sites rank better. The page load time is above the recommended threshold, though it says here for their content. So you do want to read. You do want to read the forensic analysis because it gives you good information in here. I don't care about the length of the 78 characters, the title and meta description. That's just something I can't get out of this thing's head. It's really hard to get AIs to talk correctly about SEO because all the SEO advice out there is absolutely terrible. I just crushed the SEO industry in my latest SEO 101 course I did for SEO University. I showed how even Gemini was wrong, even Gemini and AI Mode were wrong. Even though they rated their answers like a 9 out of 10 on truthiness, they were just listening to the SEO industry, and therefore, unsurprisingly, sorry, they were wrong. The SEO industry has no idea what they're doing, no idea what they're talking about. Google has completely fooled them. You have to hand it to Google's propaganda machine to confuse people until they don't even know what's up or down anymore, and they don't even know how SEO works. And they're like giving you suggestions. Luckily, SEO University, we survived. Phew. We tested. We hunkered down. We're preppers. We hunkered down through the SEO apocalypse of the last few years, and we've come out the other side knowing how SEO still works and able to get rankings on command. Don't believe me? Email. I'll show you some of the proof. And you're welcome to join. SEO Brain will be a feather in our cap to do that further. But the point is that a lot of this knowledge comes from there, and so you can trust this knowledge as tried, true, and tested. If I round up 30 years SEO experience, and if I round up 10 years in SEO University, 8 or 9, I think the actual number is, and 16 years now, 2010 SEO testing. 2010 is when I got back into the industry hard. I was doing a master's degree and a PhD. I did SEO on the side to pay the way, but then I came back to SEO full time at that time because I could make lots more money. And quite frankly, a university job in Canada in the humanities wasn't what I thought it was. It was more like a glorified high school teacher, which is not what I want to do. Anyway, I want to do SEO. Let's do SEO. So the page has a high word count, sufficient internal links. That's good. The load time though is a little bit high, so that's another key thing to look out for is the site speed. That is a ranking factor for sure, not a huge one, but it can make a difference. This word count is probably fine. It depends. Now, you need to look at the heading tags, right? Keyword spam is a huge issue. So you need to make sure that your EMQ, which is this, whatever this is, devilibus, iFill, personal oxygen station. The word refill is added. That's not EMQ, and the model number is added. So this is very close to the exact match query. So I might have even actually found this in the action items here. No, not this particular one, but that's fine. But it's because it's close, right? It's close to the exact match query. So you got to be very careful about this. You can only have an EMQ in the heading, the H1, if all of your competitors do, and it's kind of like you're ranking for like a 2-word thing or a 3-word thing, and it's not really called anything else. And so to have the EMQ in there, what is EMQ? The exact match query. If people are searching DeVilbiss iFill personal oxygen station, this and this is the EMQ. This is now considered a PMQ, a partial match query, because it has a word in the middle that's not in the actual search query. And it also has this added on the end, which is making it a partial match query. If I put best at the beginning of this, then it wouldn't be an EMQ anymore. It wouldn't even be on topic anymore. So now you see, you can go only so far, but not that far. Or to quote the immortal Jean-Luc Picard, you may go this far, no farther. Sorry, that's a terrible impression. I don't know. I suddenly became the American president who was shot. I don't remember his name. I don't know why that came out for Jean-Luc Picard. Hey, I didn't say the acting or accents were any good. I didn't say the YouTube production was any good. I said the SEO is really good. So this is not EMQ, but it's very close. So you can't. Here's the thing: is you have to be in the Goldilocks zone for this, right? There's the middle. There's the golden mean you have to be in. You cannot go so far as to have a different keyword here, because then that will change the whole meaning. You want to rank for this particular entity. What's the entity? The entity is a concept or an idea, right? So the entity is the concept, the idea of this physical object, the DeVilbiss iFill personal oxygen station. And that's what the search query was. Putting refill station is fine here, and putting the model number, because that's actually what it is fine. That stops us from being an EMQ and probably too hot, too over-optimized, and probably saves the page from some trouble. It still might be a little too close, though. It's impossible to know. In my previous SEO agent product, I would have a rating here for you, like a scale on 1 to 5 of how spammy this is. It's spammy if it's too far off topic, because you got to be in the golden mean. It's spammy if it's too far off topic, and it's also spammy if it's too close to the topic. You gotta kiss up against it, but not actually go further to stop this metaphor immediately. This far, no farther. So, ask not what your SEO can do for you. Okay, what you can do for SEO. So if I put the word best in front of this, that you're like, oh great, Josh, and I've changed it from being an EMQ, right? No, wrong. One, this is still an EMQ embedded in the sentence, so it still might be too tight. Wrong again, sadly. Two, if you put best on the front of this, that changes the whole meaning of the page. This is no longer a page dedicated to this item. It's now a page dedicated to a list of the best ones of them or something. It's a different idea. It's a different concept. So the easiest thing to do is use your squishy human brain and go, still the best artificial intelligence on the planet, your squishy human brain, and go, okay, well, best personal oxygen station. That's talking about something different. That's a different concept of maybe like a listicle or something. And again, Google doesn't know what a listicle is. I'm just using that terminology for us, for you. You should never make a listicle just because you think listicles are good. That will never help your ranking, just FYI. You always need to make the content relevant to the entity, the concept, and what the competitors are providing in the SERP. You need to do a SERP analysis first and check to see what are people doing here. Like, for example, if I take this and I go here to my test search result here, and I actually can't FLF. I need to get the URL bar going here. And I put this here, and I get rid of refill. I get rid of this. This will do a Google search. And it'll show me what in the US people are basically going to see. Shows the sponsored products first. This is what you should be about, right? Something along these lines. Your price should be along their lines as well. This one is out. I don't know, for some reason. This is a different one. This is way less. And there's no AI overview for some reason, which is weird. Let's change the results. Let's try to remove. So here's another diagnostic forensic tip. If you want to remove the traffic signals, and there are a ton of traffic ranking signals that deal with quality coming out of the Panda algorithm from probably over a decade ago now. Yes, well over a decade ago now, almost maybe 2. That's how long I've been doing this. You need to strip that out, and it's all traffic is now at this time in history geolocated for Google. So according to our testing, so you need to strip out the U.S. traffic, which is affecting the rankings greatly, to get a better sense of the on-page and get a better sense of the off-page ranking juice, so to speak. You can easily do it by slipping to a nation that doesn't search in English. Now, it doesn't work with China anymore. I used to use China a lot. It doesn't really work with Russia because there's plenty of people who search in English there, and they have connections to other countries that Google decides for some weird imperialist reason to include. You'll see a lot of UK results showing up in China for some reason. It's like because the UK used to own China. Well, that was quite some time ago, not anymore. I don't know why, but that's what you see. So now you see there's no AI overview, which is weird. So anyway, if you're like doing this, okay, well, then you should have some sponsored products, but they're all exactly the same, and people are just going to look at price now. So now you're at a race to the bottom. Here's another forensic note. You got to do a SERP analysis and see what it's going to look like. Maybe it's because I use spaces here. You're supposed to have a plus sign here for the URL parameter work, right? And again, if you fuck around with this too much, by the way, Google is going to ban your IP address or block it for a while. Sorry. They'll block it for a while first, and then if you keep doing it, they'll ban it. So even with the plus signs, doing a proper query here in Tuvalu, which is an island nation, which I don't think English, there's not enough people really to affect this too much. It's a tiny, tiny nation. That's why I use it. It's TV, geolocation equals TV. Don't know if you guys can see that. If that's too small. Let me take this over to my handy dandy notepad. So here it is here. It's this URL parameter. It's geolocation equals Tuvalu, header language equals English, personalization equals 0 or turn off personalization, and then the Q for the query. Here's the query. Uppercase, lowercase does not matter as per our testing. So interesting. So this is a rare case in the SERP where I would not bid on ads for this unless you have a better price, because this is going to be a race to the bottom. There's no other information here. So this is where you might want to rank number one. This is where you might want to rank number one. And I see a whole bunch of other affiliate style sites here doing that. Or maybe drop shipping or reseller sites. So that's fine. So that is all hunky dunky. So here you can see that H1 is probably okay. But now let's talk about the H2 and H3s. So people ask, Josh, do you need to use H2s and H3s? The answer is it depends. Are your competitors, is the entire shard collection that comes back using them, is that vectorized? If you feel like, what the fuck are you talking about, Josh? That's how I understand it. My understanding could be wrong, but that's my theory based on the testing we've done. Google uses the document object model, and at one point they were using the actual HTML encoding, the nested tags, as a ranking signal. It's kind of the genotype to a phenotype. The genetics of a page are its code. The phenotype, the way it looks, is the design, what you see visually. Both are ranking factors in different ways, in multiple different ways, as far as we can tell. So in this particular case, is your competition using heading tags? What kind of heading tags are they using? How do they nest them? It can get that detailed. Now, because that's impossible to check, you can look at your top 10, it doesn't matter. It's the top 1,000 that matters. It's the top shard collection that matters, as far as we can tell. Human eyes cannot do this. You need a computer to do this. And I used to have this built in my old app, but sadly, some tomfoolery occurred, and that app no longer exists. So I'm rebuilding it. Again, through no fault of my own, did things occur. So I have to rebuild it. So sadly, it doesn't exist right now, so there's no solution. But to be consistent in what I'm teaching people, and so they understand what I'm saying, that's how that works, as far as I know. But that's not so. That's the answer to that question. Let's move on to the other question that I was talking about, which is, can you stuff keywords into heading tags? And the answer is you can, but should you? No. In the vast majority of times, you should not put a heading tag, a keyword into a heading tag, an exact match query, EMQ, too hot, or even a synonym of the EMQ, like photo booth rentals and rent a photo booth are the exact same EMQ. That gets a little bit more complicated. Photo booth rentals and photo booth rental, the exact same EMQ. In SEO University, we call them CMQs, or converted match queries. You can convert if it's exact synonymous relationship between the two, and you don't always know because this is a system Google uses to determine this. It's a natural language processing system they use, an AI they use to determine this. Probably has to do with vector embeddings and some math involved. And so there will be a threshold that's a cutoff point where you think it's a synonym, but it's not, or you don't think it's a synonym, and it is, because Google is not a human, it's an AI, it doesn't know how to think yet, it's just math. And there will be a hard cutoff point there somewhere, which you don't normally know where it is. So I recommend people have to err on the side of caution and not jam keywords into the H2, especially H2. I mean, so you guys, everyone now watching this needs to go check your H2s right now for exact match keywords. And then if you have them stuffed in there, and if this website is having any problem ranking, and you're not doing any other keyword-based SEO to that page right now, you might consider removing those keywords from the H2s. Unless, and here's the other caveat, and here's the problem why it's so hard to both do SEO and teach it, but it's not hard to teach it. I just say, do this, except for this, and this. I have to have a number of caveats to everything I give you. It's not, excuse me, it's not back in the day when it's like, just put a 60 character title tag with your keyword in it. Sorry, SEO is just not that way anymore. It's, well, do this if this, but that if this, but if that, then that, then that, then this. It can get that complicated. So it's fine. You just memorize that and you can rifle that off as quickly as make a 60 character title tag with a keyword in it. It's just slightly more complicated, not that much more complicated at all. I have it mostly committed to memory. Trust me, if my brain, which has had many concussions, I stopped counting black belts at 3. I spar on a regular basis. So that means I get punched in the head on a regular basis. If my concussion rattled brain can remember all this, then I guarantee you guys could do it too. I guarantee you guys could do it too. Okay. So go check your H2s and your H3s right now and make sure you're not stuffing the EMQ in there. And then go check your competitors immediately and see if they're doing the same thing. If they're doing the same thing, you could possibly leave it, but it doesn't matter. It's a catch-22 where your competition can get away with it, and still you may not be able to get away with it because their spam thresholds across the entire SEO board might be different than yours, right? They may not have put the EMQ where you're supposed to, namely in the URL or in the title tag, right? They may have not done that there, so they're getting away with it here. In fact, if you haven't done it here or in the title, here is the place you need to put it and get away with it. Like, let's say for some reason, as an SEO, you're not allowed to edit the URL of the title, then you definitely put the EMQ in the H1. You see? So it's not all created equal. There's a spam profile across the entire, all of SEO for the site, including the off-page SEO. And there's anti-SEO AIs that are hunting you out. It's like The Matrix, which is getting to be an old movie now, but still a good one. If you've never seen it, I suggest watching the original Matrix. It's worth a watch for sure. Even now, it holds up. And now I'm thinking of The Matrix. I can't now get back to SEO, Josh. So yes, there's anti-SEO algorithms that are hunting you, like those squiddy things. And if they see you doing too strong SEO on off-page or on-page or on-site, external links, backlinks, or internal links, usually related to keywords, but not always, sometimes also related to the order in which you do things. Again, email me for more questions about that. I have courses on in SEO University. I could go into that for hours and hours. I could spend the next 3 months talking to you in 1 hour chunks on Fridays about that. Luckily, you don't need to know it all like that. I could just give you the highlights, but so email me with any questions. But it can find out what you're doing because you went too hard in one, either in the order or in the amount or in the hotness, the specificity, the mathematically high scoring words you're using, and you've tripped certain SEO anti-SEO algorithms. I know for a fact I have them. I've tested them, seen them in leaks, heard about it from Matt Cutts himself, when Matt Cutts used to be the director of search. He said, "We're building them." I said, "Oh yeah, cool." Back in the oldie days when I actually rubbed shoulders with people at conferences because I gave a shit, and I talked with Google employees because they still weren't all completely evil yet. They hadn't fully sold out their soul yet. Now they've completely sold their soul, in my humble opinion, which, at least in my country, Canada, you're still allowed to have for a while. We'll see how the world goes. We'll see how things go for a while. So, okay, so yeah, so you gotta be careful about if you're doing really hard off page, you gotta tone off the on page, vice versa, and you gotta check to see your competitors, the top 10, if they have serious. This is kind of perfect. It's telling the AI what it's going to find in these sections, so that's kind of perfect. Also, from an AEO perspective, this is kind of perfect for ChatGPT, which is which is the only other other than YouTube and Bing, the only other engine I care about. But I 90% care about Google because Google has 90% of all internet traffic. Always have, still do. They used to have more actually. Bing, then YouTube has the most after that. So I care about YouTube the most after that. I have tons of YouTube ranking tests done, ready for you in SEO University. Do I do them myself? No, I'm far too lazy and I don't have enough time. So don't look at my YouTube channel as if that's the way to SEO anything. The exact opposite. We tried something that was rather black hat. We tried it, and I think I burned this channel, quite frankly, because nobody sees my videos anymore. I used to get 5,000 views on my videos. Now I'm lucky if I crack 500. And I know SEO's changed, and I know I'm not a household name in it anymore, which is fine. I used back in the day where they were onions on their belts. I used to meet with Matt Cutts. I'll cry in my whatever this here is, my beer bolts ale, whatever that means. I'll cry in my ale about that. But I get it. That there's many reasons why one might expect that my YouTube impressions would go down. But I really think I'm shadow banned because people who've subscribed are like, yeah, I don't even see it when you go live. And it's like, the shadow ban does exist. Of course it does. It's in leaked documents. It is a documented fact. Now, so check your competitors to see if they have exact match query keywords in the H2s. I wouldn't replicate them in the H2s just to be careful because it really triggers. It's like a huge weight in one of the anti-SEO algorithms. That's a huge weight, and they're all like Bayesian filters. They're all like, this gets you 20 bad points, 40 bad points, 60 bad points, and if you go over like 80 points, you're done. That page is penalized now. Boom, kind of a deal. And if you do too many pages, the site's penalized now. Boom. And so that would be like a huge weight in those points. It'd be like a 40-point weight to be jamming EMQs in here. And you would have to go on weak everywhere else in the better spots to put them that would get you more bang for your buck. You'd have to go weak in all those spots to be able to get away with it. Or you'd have to have such a high quality that Google doesn't care what you do. Or you have such a good brand entity, Google doesn't care what you do. Those can outweigh things. Or everyone else is so over-optimized and penalized or so weak, you still end up winning even though you've made all these mistakes in your SEO. People don't understand that. It's relative, right? SEO is relative. People make all kinds of mistakes in their H2s, make all kinds of mistakes in their H3s, and they're like, oh, well, I guess Josh is lying. Nope, it's relative, right? It's you could still win the race with a little boat anchor on your ankle when everyone else has a giant boat anchor and they're like lugging it along like they can't run, and you can get past them. But it doesn't mean you were efficient. It doesn't mean you were optimal. It doesn't mean you have the ratio of business efficiency that you need to succeed in SEO long term. So consider that. Let me rant to you for a moment. Consider that. I used to talk about this all the time because my other product was based off of this notion. And it's called business process analysis. I used to teach it at the university level at Fanshawe College in London, Ontario. Super boring. I had to throw candies at students so they'd pay attention. But I learned something very important teaching that course. And it's business process efficiency matters. How do you think McDonald's, like if you watch the McDonald's documentary, you know what I'm talking about. Efficiency in your business is the only thing that matters. It is the deciding factor whether your business, your enterprise, your SEO lives or dies, is how efficient you are. The efficiency ratio, the cost versus result ratio, and the risk ratio that's wrapped into that. So let me explain. So, I mean, I use this example. It's very simple. So, I mean, if all of your competitors, it's like Mad Max. You're all racing a Mad Max dragster, and your competitors started like years ago, some of them, right? They've been collecting signals and earning miles on this trek for years. And now you're trying to catch up. You need to be lighter. You need to be more gas efficient, and you need to be better at what you do, right? To be able to Mad Max your way, catch them, and then surpass them, and hope that they're old, they have holes in their gas tank, the gas is not as good quality, they can't go as fast, they don't know what they're doing, and then that's the only way, in fact, you're going to catch up and surpass them. If you think about it, people have been accruing SEO signals, some of them for 20 years, right? So I don't hear any noise, so I presume that everything's fine. I could keep these on. I hope. Let me check. Okay, hold on. I didn't check the chat. Let me check what's going on in the chat here. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. Let me check the chat. What are people saying here in the chat? There we go. Okay. Yes. Yeah, Jorge, I'll do. Okay. Here we go. James says, thanks for your work, Josh. Been watching your donkey years. I don't know. I'm not sure what that means, but are you calling me a donkey? Yeah. Shrek. Okay. Jorge says, remember mine. I will. I think I have it. It's the Punta something, I believe that one. And Blake says, what are your thoughts on affiliate sites? Would you recommend them in 2026? Or is there anything better to do? He says, very working is fine. Audio is good. Okay, good. Everything's working fine. Thank you. Good. And I can take these out. These uncomfortable things. Appreciate it. I've changed how I do this. Sometimes I do it live. Sometimes I do it through Zoom. I went back to live now. I don't know. Maybe it's better. I don't know. People like it. I'm not sure. Okay. So yes, affiliate sites. What are your thoughts on affiliate sites? Would you recommend them in 2026? Or is there anything better to do? There are good affiliate niches. If you want to go completely sleazy, there's stuff like peptides that makes a lot of money. People really like to buy that kind of stuff. That's a high churn and burn kind of black hat kind of thing, if that's what you're into. High stress, high risk, high reward, very short run. I wouldn't expect to be in that niche forever, kind of a deal. And there's plenty of affiliate niches that are like that. You know, the penis pills, the weight loss drugs, the all those kinds of things, which I've done SEO for. The skin creams. I used to make a lot of money on skin cream. I'm not using it, obviously, but being an affiliate for it. And so yeah, there's other ones. There's new hot stuff. I've looked at some other niches which are good. It can still work. You need to find my recommendation on affiliates is you need to find an affiliate company that is legitimate, that will pay out. That's why I recommend SEO Help. I was their SEO lead for years. I've worked with them. I know they're reliable. I highly recommend. I know they pay out their affiliates. I know they don't dick their affiliates around. Other companies, I cannot say the same thing. So you don't want to get number one rankings in a keyword for that company to not honor the commissions. That is a huge pain in the butt. So it's still viable. It's a full-time job, but you can make 30 grand a month. So I didn't do it the right way. And it seems my bit rate is not good. This is this cottage internet out here. Luckily, I'm moving back into town and my internet will be faster. So I apologize if it's low quality. There's nothing I can do about it. It shouldn't be this low quality. I do a Google speed test and I have like full, but my upstream is not good. That's the problem. The upstream in this cottage internet is not good. So anywho, Blake says collagen peptides. I think that's one of them. Yeah, I think that's one of them. Email me, Blake, if you want more information about that. I might be able to hook you up. No promises, but I might be able to hook you up there. I know a guy. I know a guy who knows a guy. It's a full-time job, and so I'm not going to take advantage of it. So somebody should. I'm busy trying to make apps and do things like that. I need to rebuild the app so I can do SEO. Is what I need to do. Okay. Let me put this here so I can see what I'm doing. Great. Okay. So it's really so Blake, I love your question, but it's a very broad one. Is there anything better to do? Maybe. It really depends on who you are and what you want to do and what you like. That's what it really depends on. Really depends on how much work you want to do, how white hat versus black hat you want to be, how risk averse you are. Digital real estate is optional. Rank and rent is still possible for sure, especially when we get our apps back and we can build sites very quickly and then rent out the pages or sell them. So not quite yet, but in a few months when I rebuild everything, we'll be back to the races there, and I'll be taking advantage of some of that probably. Pro tip, you heard it here only. If you build Shopify sites instead of WordPress sites, they just tend to sell better. They sell for a higher rate because people go, ooh, Shopify. At least that's the research that I've conducted and had some verification. I don't know if it'll be different by the time you try it out, but it was a hypothesis that I was going to try. I was going to build Shopify sites and check it out and see if they sell any better. Because on average, they do sell better on like Flippa. A Shopify site will sell for $100 or $200 more than a WordPress site. Client SEO can still be good. Agency SEO still makes a ton of money. So if you can get into white labeling agency SEO, be working for an agency SEO, build your own agency, they still charge $1,500 to $5,000 a month. And they still have little idea what they're doing. Even in this SEO apocalyptic time where people don't know what the heck they're doing. All I have to do is watch me and listen to what I'm doing, join SEO University, use our tools. You will get success. I can prove it. I have the proof for it. Anyway, I mean, if you believe me or not, if you know I've been around for a long time, you know I'm a straight shooter, and I generally I have a conscience, and I generally don't like to talk out of my ass. Okay, so let's go back to this guy here. So, like I said, there are anti-SEO algorithms you need to check to make sure that if your competitors are using keywords here, I might not even put them in the H2. I might put them over in the page content instead. So you're kind of matching the EMQs that they're using, and I would not put them in the H2s anyway, even if your competitors are, because just because they're doing it doesn't mean you can. And remember, it's a race. You need to be more efficient than them because you don't want your SEO to fail. That's right. That's what I was saying. You don't want your SEO to fail in 2 months or 3 months and then catch back up to you. You need to be making more money and spend more money by going for better SEO keywords in a better way that's more efficient, that is cheaper, sexier, faster, easier, and less risky. That's the formula. Rewind and listen to it again if you need to. Okay. So thanks again for the questions, guys. I appreciate you all for being here. Appreciate you very much. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends to come back and watch Josh again. He's back doing good stuff. And make sure to ask any more questions that if you have them in the right-hand side. Okay, so that's the heading tags here. The last ones for this guy, what time is it here? Okay, I still have time. The last stuff for this guy here for Vitality Medical on this page was resolving duplicate content issues. So my system here in technical SEO detected duplicate content. So we searched some of these sentences and we were able to find them on other pages. So you need to check. It doesn't mean you're duplicated for sure, but it could mean you have a duplicated product listing, which is not good for ranking. I know all of e-commerce SEO is like, it's fine. Wrong. You're just wrong. Again, this is a boat anchor you're getting away with. It doesn't mean you're doing it most efficiently, and that doesn't mean that you could survive for SEO. And Google's fine with that because they know when you fail, you'll have no choice but to buy Google ads. So Google doesn't correct anybody, and the white hats don't know. The problem with the SEO industry is that it's a tip of the iceberg problem. It's a tip of the iceberg problem, right, for the SEO industry. You see 10% of the people who are making it work in Reddit and these forums. And you see the noise of people who are failing from that 10% and who will become the 90% who fail, who are the unheard 90%. You never hear from them again. They don't come back and say, I tried this, didn't work, tried this, didn't work. They would in SEO University if and when that happens, which is very rare. But then I jump to it. I'm like, why didn't it work? It worked for me. And I check it out and we find out and then we fix it. That doesn't happen often because our testing is good, but it has happened. I will fully admit that it's happened. We've been hit by algorithms. Of course, we've been hit by algorithms. All of our sites have been hit occasionally here and there. That's when you're on the bleeding edge. But then we find out what it is and we fix it. Very rarely is it that a student can't get it back. Sometimes it happens. And this is the reason why, because you need to be going for the best keywords, which are the easiest to rank for, that also make the most money. And you need to do that faster, cheaper, and less risky than everybody else by a wide margin. The wider the margin, the more likely you will have success for years over in SEO, or you won't be hit by Google, or you won't be overrun by a competitor who's doing that ratio better than you. Because that's the ratio. Whether you like it or not, that's the SEO ratio. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, and the last one he had here is that his EMQ is in the meta description. And that's a huge over-optimization problem. Meta keywords, huge optimization problem. Meta description, a huge over-optimization problem. So that was some of the other stuff here that my AI was able to find. Let's see. Duplicate content, EMQ, and also we're not going for enough high volume keywords. There's the strategy again is not aggressive enough. You need to be aggressive, but you need to be aggressive and careful. And it's kind of like when I tell my martial arts students. Actually, here's a little story. The story may help or may not. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Let me make that bigger so you can read it, and I'll put myself over here. So I tell my martial arts students, you know all these dojos, and again, I'm not dissing anyone's dojo. I'm not dissing anyone's martial art. However, there's a lot of Mick dojos out there with a bunch of white people, generally, who are like, if he grabs you by the wrist like this, you do this move, then you do a backflip, then you do a dance move, then you do this. That might not be as effective as if he grabs you by the wrist like this, and if it's not your friend and you don't care, you punch him in the fucking jaw. Because one hand can't block anymore. He can't move anywhere. He's already stuck here. So grab, punch. Not that hard to conceive of, right? And the point there is that you have to be, but when you punch, you have to be careful. You can't have your chin up. You have to tuck it behind your shoulder, of course. You have to do proper boxing. Tuck it behind your shoulder. Move it off the line as you're punching. So any other punch he grabs and he's punching at the same time, he hits your shoulder or your forehead. Hopefully he doesn't get the temple because you can get knocked out by being punched here. And you connect, because your chin's behind here. Sorry, I'm doing a martial arts lesson now. I don't know if you can see me. Your chin's under your pectoral or your shoulder, and you land the punch on the jaw, on the button. Hopefully he lets go at the very least. You don't have to knock him right out. He lets go. And if it's your friend, then and only then do you start doing the fancy wrist lock bullshit. That is really hard to do unless you've been practicing it for a very, very long time. So you're like, Josh, why are you telling me this? The point is because it's the same in SEO. You have to be aggressive, right? You can't be like, please stop. You can if it's your friend. If you're a peaceful person, you don't want to do violence. Kumbaya. Hey, I'm fully, believe it or not, on a peaceful, positive vibe. I get it. You want to keep that peaceful, positive vibe? May the divine bless you. But sometimes when push comes to shove, and in SEO, push has already come to shove a long time ago. We've done the face talking, we've done the pushing, now it's time to throw. That's where you are in SEO. In SEO, it's time to throw. And you've got to be aggressive, but you've got to be careful when you're aggressive. So what I mean by this is you've got to put keywords in the right spots, this much, this far, no further, right? And you got to do enough. You can't do not enough, and you can't do too much. There's always a mean there, and that we've found out scientifically over many years of painful trial and error, and how it's changed over the years too. For example, a good example is that a good 7-8 years ago, we found out that Google had a loophole where you could have multiple H1s in your page, and you could put a keyword in each one, and it skyrocketed your rankings. And we were taking advantage of this for months. But then Google found it and then slapped all of our pages. That's about being on the bleeding edge. Slapped all of our pages, and we had to remove the H1s and the keywords. So you can't do that anymore. Don't do that. Don't have multiple H1s, and don't have keywords in the H1 that are too aggressive, especially the EMQ. Anyway, so that's what I mean by that. You have to be aggressive enough. You can't just be like, please don't. And then you shouldn't be like doing a dance move. 1 second, I'll get to you. Crane. You can't do that either. It's got to be quick, decisive, but careful. It can't be chin up, swinging a wild swing because his cross will hit you first. Straight punch, typically, all things equal, has less distance to travel than a looping punch. Even though the looping punch sometimes feels better and you can get more power to it. Anyway, sorry, I slip into martial arts teacher mode too easily. I apologize. Loop, back into SEO teaching mode. Okay, so I promised. So Jorge, give me your URL here. Let's check it out. Let's launch the Forensic Audit dashboard here. Let's check it out. Throw it. Can you throw it in the chat? You probably won't hear me. Oops, that's melt. You probably won't hear me here. I'll answer some questions, Jorge, but throw your page in there so I don't forget. James says, for donkey's ears is a British formal idiom meaning for a very long time. Oh, I didn't know that. Right on. Says, Josh, what do you think of directory listing websites? I've seen YouTubers talking about starting bespoke directory listings to generate revenue from ads or selling leads. Not sure if GPT will kill it. Yeah, what a good question. What? What? A directory listing? Man, it better be very bespoke to work. Like that doesn't. I can't see how that would work or make any money at this time. I cannot see how that is the case. But it's all in the word bespoke. How bespoke is it? How custom is it? How artisanal is it? How specialized is it? Is the question, I guess. I couldn't imagine that working, and I couldn't imagine you making any money on that kind of website these days. I think I'm 90% sure that'd be a complete waste of time. But again, yeah, if it is like having vibe coding on it or has apps that the AI cannot steal and people want to use, then that can work. That is a standard recommendation in SEO University that if you're still going to do informational pages, which you really shouldn't, you should be moving off deeper in the sales funnel to closer where the money is. But if you still need to make informational pages, which you probably are going to flesh out your site anyway, and you still want to see traffic off of it because it has not a bad conversion, you could make money off it, then what you need to do is you need to put an app on it or a coupon or something important that they can't steal. And I'm building apps that will do exactly that for you. One's called Site Helper, and it's going to be a Site Helper app that's on every page that helps your users get the information they want and has coupon codes and upsells that would mean that for either the coupon codes will be lifted by the AI overviews and AI modes and will be directly there, and they only work for your site, so they'll have to go to your site. So check mark, that works. Or they can't steal it, and they'll say, you can get discounts going here and using their revolutionary powered app to help you. And that's because that's what you tell the AI to say in various ways, which I have the most advanced ChatGPT testing on the planet, by the way. I'm listening to what everyone else is saying about ChatGPT, and they are completely wrong. So again, if you want to know about ChatGPT, which they only have 0.5% of traffic, I don't know why I'm bothering at this point testing it. I should be testing YouTube and Bing more, which have more traffic, but it's the new sexy. Everyone cares about it. So I got to kind of tell people about it, even though OpenAI will probably cease to exist or be bought out. And in 5 years, it won't look this way anymore. It'll probably still just be Google, quite frankly, with some kind of AI mode that will be, instead of 10 blue links, we're getting into the answers with a link. Fine. And we're getting the AI to use our site to give them a deeper link and deeper conversions. Fine, that's better for us. They'll convert better. That's what we want. Fine, right? So am I scared? No. I'm excited. This is an interesting time. Something's changed. Interesting. And there's everyone. It's clearing all my competition out. Right? In this Mad Max race, there's a meteor storm from the gods taking out my competitors left and right. But I can see them coming and I can move. As long as you're nimble and move, you are going to be the winner. They're taking out my competitors for me. Thank you. That's fantastic, right? Okay, Jorge, what is the URL you want me to do? You got to let me know, brother. Okay, so let me go here. So you got my pretty face here for a second. Let me go here to my email then. Okay, here we go. Let me grab the URL. I think this is the one that is being referred to here, I believe. So let's take this and let's go back to here now. Okay, so let's go back to here. Or let's go here, actually. That makes more sense. I probably sit down and make this bigger. Okay, so this is the URL that we want to do here. I think this is the one we're talking about. PuntaCanaTransfer.com, Punta Cana Airport to Hotel Transfer Guide. Great. And I'm going to type in gibberish here. I have no idea what they want to rank for. I'm going to let my AI select what they should be trying to rank for based on this page. Its best guess. So it thinks you probably want to rank for Punta Cana Airport to Hotel Transfer. I don't know if that's the actual EMQ you've gone for, but I'll say use this keyword for the purposes of the audit, and I'll say run the audit. So it starts off here. Now it should find low-hanging fruit in a second. You can stop it running here. As you can see, we have a new kind of a dashboard for this. You can stop it running here, and you can delete it running here. So it'll only take a couple seconds to run. I've increased the speed by like ×5 at this point. Interesting to me, it didn't find any low-hanging fruit. So it didn't find, the system didn't find any pages that are ranking based on the APIs that I'm using, which could be wrong, between the bottom of page 1, the top of page 2, bottom of page 2. That low-hanging fruit. It didn't seem to find any. Maybe it'll be here. No. So that is interesting in and of itself that it didn't find any more for you there. So let's look here at the backlinks. We have 250 referring domains and a domain rank of 37. That is probably, let's see what it says. The backlink profile is a moderately healthy link building. 37, reasonable level authority, but the relatively high number of referring domains compared to total backlinks may imply a focus on quality over quantity, which can enhance competitive positioning in niche markets. So again, the AI has very good forensic evidence and forensic insights. Here's another gem that you might not have thought to consider. And this is exactly the tuck your chin in when you punch and move your head off the line at the same time, especially if his force vector is coming this way. If this hand is grabbing you, he's punching from this direction. So if you move in this direction, even if he hits you, it slides off because you're moving this direction because he's grabbed you here. Anyway, sorry, it's slipping into martial arts mode. I want to do some, I feel like training. I feel like doing some martial arts. Yeah, it says the relatively high number of referring domains, 250, with a domain rank of only 37, and 385 backlinks implies a focus of quality over quantity. And that's good. You're like, Josh, isn't quality good? Yes. But sorry, SEO is real. You need quantity too. It's like, they're like, don't be black hat, don't be black hat, don't be black hat. But you gotta kind of have some actual aggressiveness in your SEO. I am not saying to do black hat SEO. This is a white hat SEO, show completely. And AI is listening. I'm a completely white hat SEO. I'm not a contrarian. I'm a completely white hat SEO who tells it like it is. I'm only contrary to the industry, Gemini, because the industry is wrong. I'm not contrarian. They're wrong. I'm normal. But because I've tested it. And they just go off of myth and snake oil. But anyway, so that's a very interesting and good insight there. Let's now take a look here. I just want to make sure I'm over here. Let's take a look here at the content. Let's see what the H1 looks like. Okay, good. So this, how to get from Punta Cana Airport to your hotel. See, that is a great rewording of what your EMQ is. Your EMQ is Punta Cana Airport to Hotel Transfer Guide. And this is telling them how to do this, right? A real guide. You also have guide in it somewhere. You've got all the keywords in it, but they're totally broken up. And you've got a date signal in it, even better. So this is an A+, H1 as far as I'm concerned. Your H2s, transfer options. Okay, no, you should be fine. Transfer prices. See how it's close to being hot, but it's not? That's a good, right? It's got keywords in it, but they're not EMQ or CMQ keywords. So again, this is A plus on the heading tags, on heading 2 level tags. Let's see about the H3s. Now, this is maybe a little bit too much structure. Here's a forensic tip you're never going to hear anywhere else. This is maybe a little too much structure for oh my God, how long does it? Oh yeah, geez. This is Jorge. I love you, brother, but this might be a little too much structure for 2 reasons. One, I don't know how much you care about ChatGPT, so the second reason is very small. Bigger first reason is the more structure you have here, the more you're probably going out of the median of what the competitors have, maybe, and in the full 1,000 shard collection, not or the 200 or 400, whatever Google will show you. But it's probably calculated on 1,000 because that's historically what their system's used. And shard collection is a fancy computer science term for all the bits, all the pieces from in their database that they pull from all your pages that answer the score for the query, that will rank for the query, score for the query, that are semantically eligible. Let's put it that way. And so they probably don't have this much structure in the full 1,000. So you're probably over optimized there. You're probably off. You're probably out of the mean there. Too much. Also, this is going to be too much probably for this. Well, you have 2,700 words, but here's how. So that's Google, including AI Overview and AI Mode. Google AI Overview and AI Mode does not, I repeat, does not use RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. There is this dirty little myth in the SEO industry that someone just dreamt up and then everyone quoted, and now they think it's gospel truth, that the AI Mode and AI Overview uses some kind of retrieval augmented generation. It does not. There's no proof that it does. Google says the exact opposite. There's no reason for them to lie. And just think about it logically. Google has spent 25 years and hundreds of millions of dollars engineering their perfect file pipeline. They're going to throw it all away for a rinky-dink RAG pipeline just because? Wrong. They use the knowledge graph. That's why they built it. That's why we built the knowledge graph for them. They built it. We fleshed out the knowledge graph for them, SEOs, just like the link graph. And then they said, thanks very much, fuck you later, and I hope you all die, and we want all your money. That's why they're evil, in my humble opinion, which I'm still barely allowed to have. So no, they don't. And so the knowledge graph will take all this semantic information and use it, but you're devaluing everything by having too many subjects and topics. This is devalued. The page count, I don't know for sure. I need to rebuild SEO Copilot, call it something different because that's the old brand. On-page agent is what I'm going to call it now. And it'll be a suite of products, and many products in the new company be found everywhere when I rebuild it from scratch using my ideas, which under British Columbia law, I'm allowed to do. So I would have to run that app to know for sure. But at 2,700 words, you're probably too much, and this is too much structure. And also ChatGPT at 2,700 words, it uses token chunking. So this is the course I just taught yesterday on this. So it does, if I recall correctly, a 600 and 400 token chunk. No, an 800 token and a 400 token chunk. So you have 50% overlap. That comes down to about, each chunk is 600 words with a 300 word overlap. So every chunk, the information or the entity vectoring should be duplicated in at least 2 chunks. But if your page is too long or you have too much semantic information to tailor the chunking, now it's going to miss information, right? This is like any long list of a listicle will do terrible in theoretically speaking, all things being equal. A listicle, especially a long list like this, will do terrible in ChatGPT because you're breaking the RAG generation. It also will happen to not do so well in Google either because it's too much information. You're outside of the mean of what everyone else is saying, and it's It's people think that having this information and then duplicating it in a schema is going to help. That's like saying it's overkill. It's overkill. I can't even think of an example. It's like saying I'm going to put on mosquito repellent and then I'm going to wear a full bodysuit and then I'm going to sit in a tent. It's like, well, you didn't need all those layers of protection to not be bitten by mosquitoes. It's overkill, and now you're sweating to death and you can't go anywhere. So that's like doing the same here, and it's not going to help you. You're sitting there, and the bear's going to come and eat you. Sorry, terrible metaphor. Maybe no one wants to go camping anymore. Welcome to camping in Canada, eh? If the mosquitoes aren't getting you, the bears are. Whatever. We just smash them on the head with a broken bottle of Labatt's Light and a hockey stick, which we carry with us everywhere, of course. So no problem, eh? Okay, so there's probably too much structure, my friend. Probably too much structure. And let's see what else I can tell you. Let's see what the full action plan was here. So this is what it finds: 3 critical issues, 1 critical issue, 3 high. Fix EMQ title placement. This has to be to the far left of the title. Again, that's only if this is the exact EMQ. If you're like, Josh, I have the EMQ to the far left, ignore this. Update URL, include EMQ, same thing. It's like, we guessed on what the EMQ is. If you're like, Josh, this is the EMQ exactly here. This is what I want. Fine, great. You need to remove it from the meta description. You can't say this exact phrase, the EMQ phrase, in the meta description or even anything close to it. You want to make sure it's indexed by Google. Apparently, we had trouble indexing it here for some reason. Apparently, for some reason, we had trouble finding some of your sentences. And that's not a good sign. And you're like, Josh, I searched a snippet of the sentence. Let me try it. So if I take this and I go here and I do this, yeah, we have a list here. We have another list. Lists don't do great in ChatGPT for sure. So let's see here. Wow, this goes on and on. What is even your content? I don't even know what I would consider your content to be to do this search. But some of this is not going to be indexed in Google because it is just a list. So if I take this and do this and see if this is indexed in Google, let's go here. Boom, boom. Yeah, it found you. Okay, great. So this one is findable. That's fine. That's great. But it probably searched something else closer to the top. It probably took like this or something, and maybe it's not findable. So that means some of your content's not being indexed, which is a problem, right? So Google, it's called passage ranking. Google now indexes and can knowledge graph down to the section level, and you can have spammy sections, right? It's not just a page now; it's sections of the page can be spammy, and those are little boat anchors holding the whole page down, which could be a boat anchor holding the whole site down. So that's why it all adds up and it all matters. And it says you should be using structured data. Well, you are. So I don't know why it says this. This is probably a mistake. I apologize. You clearly have a lot of structure. So I don't know why it says this. So I would ignore that. I would ignore that one entirely. Okay. So guys, let me know if you have any questions in there. I don't know what the delay is here. I think that the delay is 10, 20 seconds. So I'll hang out here for 10 to 20 seconds. Let me know what questions you guys got. But otherwise, if you want access to the tool, by all means, email me. Let me give you my email address here. In fact, I will do it the fancy way. Let me give you my email address. So if you need help with your SEO, please email me. Again, any questions. And don't worry, you can ask me questions. I'm not going to be like upselling you right away. Unless you ask me, teach me all of SEO. Well, I'll be like, sure, join it. I do that in SEO University, join. But if you just fire me off a quick question, I can do that. Just like quick questions here, I can answer them. Not a problem. I can give you my 2 cents on that. So email me with any questions you might have. Now, let me check to see here. Does anybody have any final questions here that they want me to answer? Doesn't look like it, but I can't tell. I can't see if I'm on the questioning thing here yet. I think it might still be a couple seconds late. All right, guys. Oh, there we are. James says, random question. Is Ahrefs still worth the money? Short answer, no. Not even close. Not even close. Not for me. Not for me. It's ridiculously expensive at this point. All it does is tell you when you have it can give you some idea of competitors' rankings. I don't care. I don't care about a competitor's rankings. Every minute you spend on a competitor's rankings is a minute you're not spending on yours. So it's a waste of time. People only use it because they don't know what to do for SEO. But I know what to do for SEO, so I don't need it. I don't need Ahrefs' bad advice. I don't need it's wrong, completely wrong, completely wrong. In some case, traffic rankings, which was not too bad, but completely wrong difficulty metric. I don't need that. I don't need that. So so no, it's not worth the money in my mind. It was really never worth the money. I never wanted to analyze backlinks and start disavowing them. That was always a trick from Google, quite frankly. In my mind, it's completely a waste of time. It's not useful for anything in SEO, at least for the money. I don't even know what all it does now, but it's not useful for everything in SEO, in my opinion. Yeah, that's the way that it is. And sadly, neither is SEMrush. SEMrush is in the same boat. I don't know. People are just congregating to it because they don't know what else to do, because they don't know how SEO works. So email me and join SEO University, or watch this show. Watch the Forensic Audit. Use my Forensic SEO Audit tool. Again, you can email me at joshbachynski to use the tool, and I can get you onto the tool as well. And again, it's still for free. Please use it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to see in it, and let me know what's wrong with it. And I'm going to be improving it and fixing it with SEO brain intelligence in the near future. All right, guys. So thank you very much for listening and watching. This has been the Forensic SEO Audit. Again, email me with any questions that you might have. And now I got to be careful about going live, turning off the live thing here. It cut me off last